Okay, so yesterday we saw how to recover from the emergency mode. Uh, for XFS repair, I looked up, I couldn't find much information. So I will work this week and then I try to get some information, okay? Alright, we'll move forward here. Okay. Okay. So the next command we're going to work on is disk duplication. So what it is it will duplicate the disk. That means it will do the exact copy. So disk duplication. Okay, so does a exact let's say photocopy of source to destination. Okay, so let's take a look here. Let me do lsblk. So what we have here is let's see here. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the duplication SDB1 to SDC. Okay, we'll see how this works out. So I'm going to duplicate this. Even though this one has a partition in it, we'll take a look how this works, okay? And this one doesn't have a partition. So what will happen is, let me clear this. And so we can't even read SDBC because SDC is not mounted or anything like that. So let's go ahead and see how this works here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the dd command, dd, and it says if equals, I'm going to explain this to you in a minute here, okay? If equals /dev/sdb1, okay, and of equals dev/sdc, okay, and I'll hit enter here. So what will happen is making a photocopy here. So let's
So, Mr. Zafar, DD is the photocopy command?
Yeah, DD stands for disk duplication.
Okay.
Yeah, it's doing the photocopy. So this is a command, and IF stands for input file. Okay, I think I told you everything is considered a file here, right? SDC over here is considered a file. Slash dev slash SD SDB1 is also considered a file here. OF stands for output file.
So they're not devices, they're files? Or technically they are devices, but they're also called files?
To in our minds, for humans, those are devices. For Linux,
Mm-hmm.
it's nothing but a
Oh,
file.
okay.
Okay, I think I mentioned this long time ago when the class started.
Yeah, everything is a file, right?
Everything is a file.
Okay.
Even a folder is a file is a file, device is a file, RAM is a file.
Okay.
So we'll see here. So what it's gonna do is actually it's gonna take a. Hopefully this should be done soon here. So by the way, what happens here is all the data all data on uh, all data will be destroyed slash write over on destination disk. Okay, yeah, this is important when you're doing this. um, by the way, you could do this command. You could plug in any other file system. You could plug in a Windows disk, and then do a disk duplication in here using this command. And what will happen is it will still work here. It's this duplication is independent of the file system here. Okay, it's not restricted to only the file system. So if you plug in the Windows device drive, for example SDD, okay, you plug it in, right, and it will show up in here. You want to, it's a little bit corrupted, but you want to make a copy of it to SDE, it will definitely work without any problem. So we'll see how long this is gonna take. Okay, might take a little long here. So what I'm gonna do is we'll move ahead with another command here. Okay, so uh, I'm gonna show you, if you want to destroy data, I'll show you a command if you have a disk and if you wipe it clean. Okay, yeah, so it is complete here. So it took a few minutes, not that bad. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do lsblk. Okay, so lsblk is not giving much information here. Let's do blk id. Okay, so let's do sdb1 and sdbc. Okay, so it's an exact duplicate here. I think even if it's even the UUID is a duplicate. So you could see here, it's doing the exact copy here. It doesn't matter how the format is. SDB1 and okay, so if you look closely here, the UUID and all these two things are matching here. There is no difference. And since everything is matching, the file system and everything, we should be able to map this to another folder, and we should have the same content here. So if I go to CD Chicago, and if I do ls here, you got some files in here, right? So let's what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna mount this to New York here. Mount SDC to New York. Okay, and if I go to CD New York, and I should see the same files as in the disk Chicago. Okay, it's an exact duplicate. Okay, now if you see one thing here, what was the size of SDC? Oh, I should have captured this. Okay, here, yeah. SDC was 8. SDC was 8 GB. And 8 GB. Okay, we did the exact. Okay, fine. So what happened here is, now if you map the smaller size to bigger size, if we were to do this to this here, it may not, the same disk won't be usable here. Only 8 GB will be usable here. Okay, as far as I know. Okay, so now you could tell confidently that you could do a disk duplication here. Okay, if you find a hard drive that is failing sometimes, and then you want to capture the data, or you want to capture the data without any other reason, you just do this duplication. Okay, so that is that. And let me check one thing here. And settings. Virtual SDC BC. Okay. All right, I'm good here. So this is clear, right? How the command is working. Okay, so let me move this a little bit in here. Okay, what if you have a CD, if you have a disk, but you want to destroy the data here? You have this SDC, you want to destroy all the data in here. Okay, so the command you do is dd input file. So you could do equals /dev 0. Okay, if you go into /dev, let's go in there, cd/dev, there is a file name 0. So there is a file name 0 here. Okay, it's worthless. I mean, it doesn't have anything. It's just gonna write all the zeros to the disk here. So we're gonna use that file dd input file equals dev/0. Okay, and output file, where are you going to put the output file here? So I'm targeting the output file to be this file here, so it's going to destroy all the data on it. dd input file equals dev 0. Okay, and output file is the existing file here. Okay, you could give the output file a file that doesn't exist, so it will create one, and then you have to give the size here. Okay, I'll show you that in a minute here. Output file, then you go dev sdc. The moment you hit enter, it will start writing zeros to this disk here. Okay, this command comes handy if you you know, I mean, how should I put it? I mean, if you think you are in trouble and the police is going to come get your computer, run this command here. Okay, that's all the hard drive they're going to get at you is going to be dead in water. They're not going to be able to get anything. If it was using a Windows command using delete or something, all the data will be here. But the data running this command, it goes to the core and wipe it down. Run this command like a couple times, 3 times. Oh, there is nothing in the world that it will bring them back. So when they're doing like computer forensic and try to get the data extracted, this is the commands they're using. First, what they do is they can go and pick up the computer, and very first thing they do is they extract the hard drive and make a duplicate copy so that they make sure they have another copy here. Okay, but if you run this command, it's over, man. The hard drive is dead in water. Can't use it. I mean, you could use it, but there is no data on it. It's going to write all zeros on to it. To destroy the data on the disk. Okay, you'll use this command. I have a contract with one of this local doctor here. So before he dispose the computer off, or before he sells the used computer, he comes to me and then I'll destroy the data using this, and then I'll make sure it is totally wiped. There is no way anything is going to come back. The programs, the white programs you find is actually running this command here. It won't show on the face here, but it's running the duplicate command, and it will run like 3 rounds or 4 rounds or whatever. But nonetheless, it's a Linux command. Okay, so it's doing that. I wonder if the disk was mounted. This was still mounted, right? Now, if we do SDB to SDD, what will happen? Any guess? Anybody? Come on, guys. I said it's gonna do the disk duplication, right? I'll tell you here what will
It
happen.
should, but uh,
So I'm copying this to this. What will happen to this? What are the things it's gonna copy over? It's right in front of your eyes.
the 100 files all the files are going to be in the SDD disk.
And what else is in SDB right in front of your eyes?
The New York mount.
Look on the left side.
The EXT4.
No. Here's the thing. It's gonna copy all the partitions also. Exactly the same thing. It's gonna pick up what it has in here and then transfer it over to here. So we'll take a look here. Look in a minute here. Hopefully this is done. Okay, so writing dev SDC, no space left, and 8 GB, it copied all this here. So if you try to mount it, I mean, it's not mounted anymore. If you do BLK ID, the ID and then everything should be gone here. Let's take a look. BLK, LSBLK. Okay, let's do CD New York. All the data is gone. But if you do BLK ID, okay, so where is SDC? SDC is not even showing up in here because it's an orphan now. It is not associated with anything. So what are we going to do is, before that, let me clear this here. We do LSBLK. So let's make an exact duplicate here of this to SDD. Okay, so what I'm going to do is DD input file equals dev/SDB output file equals dev/SDD. Now, if you run this command to SDC, it may not work because SDC is smaller than SDB itself. It will definitely initiate it halfway through. It will stop. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and SDB to SDD. Let me hit enter here. So this might take a little while here. While it's doing that, let me go ahead and show you how to create a large blank file, okay? We will use this blank file when I'm doing the network troubleshooting. I'll show you, we need this, okay? Create a large blank file. So sometimes you need to create this. For example, if you are transferring a data between, if there is a problem between two servers, okay, and you don't know if it's a problem with the data, if it's a problem with the connection, if it's a slow connection or whatever, what you need to do is you need to have some kind of file to safely use it to transfer it over the network to do troubleshooting. So what you could do is you could create a large file and then transfer it from one side to another side. What will happen is it will give you enough time here, like transferring a 2 GB of 2 gig of file. It's not going to be done in like 2 seconds, right? It will take like 2 or 3 minutes. In that time period, you will have some time to troubleshoot it. Okay, did you get my point? What I'm trying to say here is you must have something to use to do a troubleshooting. Usually you use this for a network troubleshooting, okay? So I'm going to open another window here. I'm going to log in. So I'm going to run a command to create a blank file here, okay? So I'm going to do dd. Here input file is equal to, you could use dev 0. Most of the time I use dev 0, okay? And output file is, it doesn't exist. So I'm gonna give a name, Zafar. And then I'm gonna add another attribute to it, count. How many you want to create? 1. And byte size equals how much, what is the byte size? I'm gonna say 2G. When you say 2G, it will create a disk size which will be a size of 2 GB. And if you do 2M, it will create 2 megabytes, or 2K, it will create. So let's do 2G. Okay, it will create the file in this folder here. At the moment we are in the home directory. Okay, this one is done here. If you do ls-l, okay, you should see Zafar with a large number here. So you do ls-l lh. It will give you, H means human readable. So you see a big file has been created and the size is 2 GB. Okay, is that clear enough? Okay, so I'm going to explain this. This is a byte size. Okay, this is just a command. Okay, and you already know this is input file. And this is output file. And this is count. And the byte size is 2 gigabytes. Okay, so this one is still going on. There's a lot of things coming in, guys. I mean, we are how long it's been since we have this class?
Two
July,
months,
August.
2 months and a week.
Yeah. Well, end of this month would be 3 months, right?
2 months.
Yeah.
No, no. I mean, you guys started late here. The officially class started in I think July 4th, or June 27th, something like that, right, guys?
Mm,
Or July 4th.
the videos say August when you start the screen recording.
August.
Yeah, it says 8.
August 8.
August 1st.
Yeah.
August 1st. Oh, okay. Yeah, I get it. The other class was already 3 months ahead of you. So August, September, 2 months.
Are we going with a good pace, you think?
We are on a good pace here. It's gonna go up until January. So what I want you guys to do is start working on the resume. Every, you know, here's the thing here. Uh, I have this document here. Let me find one document here. Email.
Can you take that highlighter out the book?
The video added here is of the 1st August.
Yeah, I got it.
First and second, 8th and 9th, then 12 and 13.
Okay, so this is a, I mean, go ahead and create a new email address. And in email, don't put your middle name or anything. Okay. So this is how I want you to create an email. Okay. Take your first name and like here, these are the examples here. Uh, Type your first name and last name, and then put in something like Red Hat, Linux, RD, or Linux, something like that, and put like a number in it, 01 at gmail.com. Okay. So this is what's going to happen is it's going to be a really look how short this email address is, and instead of having like long name, full name at gmail.com, we're not worried about that. Okay. So put something like this, and you will get a Google Voice also. So there would be only, you'll keep Google Voice only for the marketing. Okay. If you get a call, you know you're getting a call for a job requirement or something. And here, put your first name, last name. Okay. And don't put your middle initial. Okay. Just keep it simple. And put your email address. Okay. And location. Don't put address in there too. Just location. The most you should do is, like I'm in Chicagoland, right? So CHICA. I'm gonna type Chicagoland. That's good enough here. So if you are in Dallas, Fort Worth, just type DFW or whatever. New York, just type New York. Okay. I don't want you to give out the full email address. I mean the full home address. And then your email address. Please keep it in this format here. Okay. Like, I mean, you don't have to copy the exact way, but use 01 and then put in there like Linux, RHT, Red Hat. That means it's giving you an impression that you are professional in the Linux environment. And put down call or text. And then these days you kind of need this, work authorization if you're a U.S. citizen or permanent. They are looking for that because Trump, he banned H-1B, which is good for people who have the citizenship or something like that. Okay, and go through this document here, the document I have. Okay, keep the document open like this. Okay, keep
Are you going to put it in the
yeah.
in the course? Just put it attached in the course website, sir.
I'll put it on the website. Yeah.
Okay.
And then I want you to go ahead and go through the document, and then start putting the bullet points in a document. Okay. And within another a month or 6 weeks, we're gonna go through. I'll go through individually with how you preparing it. What I'm trying to do is I'm giving you opportunity to write your own resume, because writing a resume is more important. It's a 50% of the thing that will get you a job. Okay, just writing technical stuff is not important. So what we'll do is we'll prepare a resume which is going to be a functional resume. Okay, just because you're technical, that doesn't mean you have at your job you have to read email, you have to create change requests, you have to deal with the other teams. All those things are important. The behavior, how you respond, the leadership, and all those. So don't worry about all those things at the moment. What I need you to start making get a email first. Use this format, and then put a document, and then put this like this on the top, and then put a line there, horizontal line, and start making a bullet points in there. Okay. So I'll show you how you would make a bullet points. So for example, you go in here. So what you could do is use the basic commands and then put a bullet point. LS, put that down, history, echo, redirector, things like that. Okay, then you come down here and you take a look, move folder, know how to use man pages. Okay, and what else? Cat command, pipe. So put all the basic commands into 2 lines here, including gzip and all that. Then you come in here and then put down very well, make a bullet line that you know how to use a vi editor. Okay, not too much, just 1 line. And then all these are commands. So okay, actually make 3 lines, and then make one special line for hard link and soft link. Okay, you will be using this a lot. One bullet point for hard link and soft link. And then directory structure, 1 line. And make 1 line, you use var log messages. And skip this brief history, nobody cares about this. And yeah, put down NIC configuration and NIC bonding. Okay, these 2 things in 1 bullet line, that's enough. And what else we got there? So I want you to keep running a journal, and start as soon as possible, and then go into a little bit of networking, and in protocol talk about TCP and UDP. Well versed in TCP and UDP protocols and the services that use those protocols. Okay, something like that, nothing more than that. And okay, you don't really. And then talk a little bit about gateway, 1 line. And disk management, from here to end of disk management, I want you to talk about 5 lines about disk management. Okay, fdisk, lvm, vg extend, lv extend, uh, pv add, pv remove, all those. So you have everything right in front of you. Just use the information you have and write those bullet lines for me. Okay, so when your guys are ready, then when I work one-on-one, then we'll finalize the resume and then we'll upload it 1 month before the class is over. And then after that, I'll send the resume to the recruiters. So everything you see right in front of your eyes here. Okay, guys, please. Okay, so let's get back to the course. Here, what do we got here? So the directory structure is complete here. I mean, we're not doing anything special. I just wrote down a disk, copy disk with partition structure. I mean, for the disk dd command, it's not going to discriminate. It's just going to do the exact copy here. So if you do lsblk, what you should see here is you should see the exact copy of the disk here. sdd. Oh, it kept 24 GB. Okay, that's good. Okay, so it has the exact directory structure. And let's do blk id. So if you look at in here, SDB1 and SDB1, they have same exact directory structure. I'm sorry, the UUID and files type. So it has two file system, right? EXT and XFS. So this one has a EXT, the source, and XFS, and the destination is also the same thing. And even have the swap file, so it even copied the swap file. Okay, so you could now say with confidence that it is an exact disk duplication. Okay, so I'm gonna get rid of this information. Okay. Okay, so we are done with the disk management here. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna move into next phase. So we have a lot of time. So right now, what we're gonna learn is we're gonna learn how to connect to another server, and we're gonna give the name. Okay, if you type host name, this is the host name here. It's a generic name for the system. But in reality, that's not the real name. The real name would be you have to give the every host a name. What do you mean host is nothing but a name, server, box, computer, whatever. Like in here, even in Windows environment, you have to play around with the host name, I think, yeah. So if I go in here, properties, and I have the name here. I have the name of the computer here. All these things matters here, right? Right now it's a randomly assigned generic name here. Most of the time this is the name you're gonna see. So let's go ahead and change the name, okay? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna change the host name file. Where is it located? It's located in hostname area. VIETC hostname. And if I hit enter, this is the hostname here. I'm going to delete this, and then I'm going to go zmpt01.zmprotech.com or local. Okay, we'll worry about .com. It will run into DNS issue later on if the computer is on the network, on the internet. Okay, so what we will do is we'll keep this like this, and zmpt01.zmprotect.local. Okay, so give me one moment here. Okay, let me check the DNS. DNS Okay, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go with .com. When you go into a job, this is how the server is gonna be listed. ZMPT01, and it's gonna be continue on with like thousands of names in here. Or you could also have in here prod zmpt01.prod.zmprotech.com. So if you see something like this means this is a production box. Okay, so you save and exit. Okay, and so if you type host name, it has not changed here. So what you could do is you could restart the system. Okay, the system will restart. What is that?
सिस्टम स्टक हो गया क्या था?
नहीं, आई थिंक वो एक प्रोसेस रन हो रहा था शायद वो रिपेयर का एक्सएफएस रिपेयर. failed to I have to disable that SD. Which disk was that yesterday? New York, right? SDB2. I'll go with you how to do it, what I'm doing here. It's in a different. We'll go over this in a troubleshooting class. This is actually disabled. As SDB2, SDB1. So it's back up now. Okay, now you could see here in a ZMPT01 here, you get a little indication you logged into the name of the host here. And this is the host name. So if you type host name, and this is now the server has a proper name itself. So in the network, within the network of the organization, it could be only one computer with that name, and then the fingerprint will be the IP. Okay? It will be only one computer with that name. It cannot be any duplicate number computer with the same name. What will happen is the DNS will go crazy. So assigning a computer name is really important thing. It sounds silly, but that's where everything starts here. When you start building the computer, you work with the business and determine on the nomenclature how you gonna name the computer, because it will already be set up in the system here. Most of the time, the environment you're gonna go in, everything is already set up. Okay, so usually I'm gonna give some of the examples here. This is prod, right? So This is production and development test. So this is how usually you will have in there is like test, uh, dev, and prod. This is how the structure is set up. Usually even this one is they don't want to make it confusing, so this one is 01, and well, I just leave it here. So when you go into the job environment, and make sure you look at this, and it will give you some indication that what kind of server you're working on with. Okay, so if it's a production, test, or dev, and if you type hostname CTL, it gives you a lot more information here. Okay, so what we have is we have the static name, and then icon name, computer VM. Okay, so it's kind of detecting it's a virtual machine here, and if it's a physical box like IBM, HP, or Dell, it will tell you here Dell, and the machine ID and the boot ID. These are all the UUIDs. Okay, and the virtualization is using KVM, and it's giving you some information about CentOS operating system and CPEOS name. CPOS name. I have no idea what this means. I usually do this to check the kernel here. Okay, so this is the most up-to-date kernel and the architecture. So you don't have to worry about architecture almost. I mean, you guys heard about 64-bit, and what was the other one? 32. Okay, yeah. I mean, I haven't seen 32-bit architecture in about 10 years, so you don't have to worry about it. It's almost always it's going to be 64-bit architecture. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to shut this down, and then I'm going to make a clone out of this. Before that, I'm going to destroy all the disks in here. Okay. LSBLK. I want to destroy all the 3 disks. How do I do that? Easy way is I'm gonna say dd input file equal /dev/sd dev/0, and output file equals /of should I run this command dev/sdb? Okay. Okay, 16 GB and 24 GB. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is and let's see here, 0 output file byte size. Okay, this should go fast. Okay, this is the fast command, I think. Yeah, let's try it. And byte size equal 1M. I'm going to open the new and then I'm going to do it for root Red Hat. SDD, right? SDD. I'm going to open another window and then I'll see what is going on here. Okay, see, it went through so fast. That's what I was looking for. Might as well put this in there so that you guys could do it like quick wipe. Quick wipe. Okay, that's enough information, right? I don't need to explain. Okay, you look at this SDB, it's all destroyed here, okay? SDC is next. BLKID. So even SDD is gone too. SDC is gone and SDD is gone. Okay. Alright, good. So what I'm going to do is VIETC FS tab. I'm going to go here. I'm going to take all this out.
Already commented, no, sir.
G?
It was already commented.
Yeah, I'm moving forward. What we're going to do is we're going to be cloning this around and doing a lot of stuff. So,
Okay.
okay, so I'll show you. Let's see here. So we are not coming back to disk management anymore. So I'm still going to be using the same server to work along. Okay, so I'm going to say restart. I'm going to do root Red Hat and lsblk blkid. It's all clean, right? So this is, so we have like 5 disk, 1 2 3 4 5 extra disk here, which is okay. So I'm gonna shut this down and I'm gonna do this here. So now the next topic is gonna be doing the connection between two servers. Okay, so far we've been just sticking in one server here, right? So that's not enough. How many servers do you have at work? Average place has about 10,000 servers, okay? 10,000 servers. So I'm going to introduce you SSH. What is this called? Secure Shell. Okay, this is very secure thing that Linux has, is a secure connection by default. So this server is down. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start naming this here. Practice is the main one, and I'm gonna get rid of this here. Delete all files, and so I'm gonna clone this here. Now I'm gonna start naming this here appropriately. ZMPT02. Okay, I'm gonna say next, and I'm doing the full clone. Okay, so it should keep all the hard drives too. Okay, guys, we are going into a different territory now, and it will keep getting interesting going forward. And what we're gonna do is, I think this is considered an engineering part. And I want to somehow rename this here. Okay, I'm ZMPT01. Okay, I hope it's just a label. Okay, good. Okay, so now I'm gonna start both of them, because going forward we will be working on multiple servers simultaneously. Oh god, I was hoping to start scripting today, but I don't think. So look at here, ZMPT01. We're gonna have to go in there and change the host name.
Adjust करें साहब, नहीं दिख रहा, सही नहीं दिख रहा. Can't see it properly. You have to adjust it a little bit.
Yeah, hold on. Oh god. IPA. Okay, so for ZMPT02, I'm gonna have to adjust because the IP address is not showing there, right? Is it showing there? Yeah. What is the IP address? 10.192.160.1.50.
158, 150.
It's the one I have is 150. It could be different for you. So I'm gonna go IPA. Did I mess up a little bit? Settings, network. So what we need is, we need a host only adapter here. Host only adapter and disable adapter 2. So go ahead. I'm gonna go ahead and shut down both of them. And init 0. Init 0. So the adapter is gonna be host only adapter. I didn't even know I was on bridge adapter. Why was I on bridge adapter? And then enable extra adapter, just disable that. We need only one adapter now. Okay, I'm gonna get rid of this. And I'm gonna clone it again. So it's a full clone. Do you guys want me to go a little bit faster, or this is enough? You could finish the
No,
class. Huh?
this is a good pace.
Nothing.
Yeah, this is a good pace.
Okay. Okay, I'm gonna verify this is network and it's host only adapter. Okay, good. So I'm gonna kickstart both of them. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna do IPA. Oh, root red hat. Okay, IP address is the one we assign manually. Okay, the static IP address, I think. So here, okay, it's not going to have the IP address. Why? Because the other one took it already. Bound, where are we using bound? Bound is 250. So what we have to do is we have to change the two things in here, computer name and bound. vi/etc/sysconfig network.
What is bound, sir?
Are you kidding me? I showed you, right, bonding the two network cards.
Yeah, it explains perfectly in the notes.
I showed you. Let's see here.
Talking about the NIC in the NIC bonding.
NIC bonding, yeah. So you go in here, and we have a regular NIC configuration and NIC bonding. Okay. So almost all servers will have two drives, two network cards.
Cards.
One is
Two cards.
yeah, one is gonna be the backup for the other one. Okay. Excuse me. Alhamdulillah. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just restart. Oh shoot, I should have changed the name also. Okay, so it took it. 251 is our IP, and let me clear this vi/etc host name. Okay, I'm gonna make it 2 here. Okay. Okay, so these things is gonna stay in the background. So let's focus on this here. So I'm gonna restart. It's not gonna work. ENP0S3 is 150. Oh, okay. Whew. One dot. Okay. I almost was gonna go crazy, but I'm still not in. Let's see here. 192.168.1.250. What about 150? So I think what I'm gonna have to do is go in here, preferences, and go to network and NAT, and go in here. No, not NAT. Tools and preferences, network. No, even not that. I go in here and okay, host only adapter, go in here and go into details. Okay, so the IP address should be 192.168.56.1, and then we could assign anything after 56. Okay, so you have to go in here and verify it. You guys may not have this problem because I am having so much network problems, so that's my problem. So you go in here and then you just change the bond 0 here to 56.250. Okay, let's do 150 because we are very close to end of the okay, that's the first one. That's the second one. So the host name has changed, right? What? One 192.168.56.150. What is the problem? Oh, my bad. When we are using bonding, we're supposed to have two network cards here. I just, without thinking, I just need the. I still need to shut this down here. before that, I'm gonna go to cd etc sysconfig network. .151. Okay, no, what I'm doing so far is my problem here. You guys shouldn't have this. Init to 0. So in here, I'm gonna say host only adapter, and then we're gonna use these two adapters here, okay? I hope it's gonna keep the adapter name same.
Both the adapters is host only.
Yeah, both adapters should be host only.
This is because we are considering the system as a server.
Yeah. Going forward, let's keep it real as a real world environment. Every server is going to have two adapters, and a bound will be used on both places. It's working. See, it's pinging. All right. So you guys shouldn't have this issue here. It was my issue. So 151 and 150 and 152. 150 is the main one here. So I'm gonna have to close this and go into party and close party 2 and practice load, and this is 56 dot 150. Okay, and I'm gonna give it a name ZMPT01. I'm gonna save it, and then 51 is gonna be ZMPT02. I'm gonna save it. So now I'm gonna launch. It's a new server. See, root, login as root, and Red Hat. Can I go 5 minutes over? Okay.
Oh,
So what we're gonna do is we're gonna connect from ZMPT1 to ZMPT2. Okay. So from here, if I ping, so if I do ping, okay, so it's pinging the name here. But if I try to ping 02, it will not work because we don't have the DNS set up yet. So we have to use IP address, but that's a little later. So let's talk about the SSH secure shell. So I'm going to go SSH. And I'm going to go into images. And this is the picture I want. Copy. I'm going to go in here. I'm going to resize this. I'm going to put this in here. And these two things are the same here. So okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of this. So I'm having two servers here, ZMPT1 and ZMPT2, right? So what do I have here? ZMPT01.prod.zmprotech.com. Okay, so this is one server. And the second one is here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just do 2 here, okay? So now we have a visual here how these two things are going to work. So what we're doing here is we are going to make a connection between ZMPT1 to ZMPT2. So how are we going to do that? So we're going to use it as a secure shell here. So what will happen is clear the command to connect from one to other places, SSH. Okay, SSH stands for secure shell. And then we have to get the IP address for this. IP address we're going to use is 192.168.56.151. In the real world scenario, you could use the name here, but the DNS is not set up. We'll go into really deep into DNS setting up, and we should have a functional DNS setup as if we would have somewhere in the big corporate environment. So I type this here, SSH, and then I hit enter. What it's going to do is going to ask you blah blah blah, all that. Do you want to continue? Yes. I type yes. I type Y and hit enter, or type yes or no. Yes and hit enter, and then it's going to ask you for the password for the root. It's telling you password for the root for 192.168.56.151, which is this server here. Okay, I'm going to type the password here. Now I am into this server. See, if I do IPA, I should see this server here. How do you know which server you are in? You type hostname. Now you're working from ZMPT1, you went into ZMPT2 using SSH. So in this fraction of a time, what has happened? What has happened here? It has done the three-way handshake. Three-way handshake was done. So what happens? Number one, the client initiates the connection by contacting the server. So it has the information here, SSH, the IP address. It connects there, and the client sends a server a public IP, a public key, and then there is a negotiation setup, and then when you put in the password, and it applies the password to it. Okay, so what is this actually? This is nothing but what we have already seen here is a three-way handshake. Okay, so we already talked about networking. Okay. Okay, so it is doing this here. It is doing a 3CP protocol. It's syncing, and it's sync and acknowledge and ACK. Okay, so SSH is using a TCP protocol. SSH uses TCP protocol. What is a TCP protocol? It's a connection oriented. It makes the connection as it does a connection orientation. Connection oriented means, it prefers connection rather than a broadcast. Broadcast doesn't make connection, okay? So it's a direct connection between two servers here, okay? So I'm going to exit here, and I'm back to my own original server, which is host. So what you could do is you could connect from here, from that server, you could connect into another server, and all this. That's how the hacking happens. Okay, but in the Linux environment, it is very, very, very secure. Linux servers get hacked. One server to 10,000 Windows server. Okay, that's how proportion I would say is like. You barely hear Mac getting hacked, right? Do you get Mac is what? Linux. You never hear Mac getting hacked. You hear Windows getting hacked all the time. Well, Androids get hacked too, because Android is free. People are screwing around with it too much. But you never hear iPhone get hacked.
Why is it that Mac is less susceptible to hacks than Androids and Windows?
Windows is Windows. It's unreliable, and Mac is Linux. Mac is running Unix code.
Okay, Unix code.
Yeah. Well, the reason Android is getting hacked compared to iPhone is because the source code is left out, and then the developers, they don't know how to develop it. Because if you put your app on Apple, what is it called? Apple App Store, they will do deep testing before they approve it. But it's not the same thing for Android, because Android is mostly used in other countries. It's dominating over here because the manufacturer of the hardware is somebody else, and the Android operating system is released by Google, and then there is the manufacturer who is manufacturing the physical handset. They have to do a lot of changes where it will be customized for that specific handset. In that way, there is a screw up here. But here's the thing here. You don't hear Samsung getting hacked and all this. It's like other Android devices which are not well known. Those are the one that get hacked because for it to secure it. So this Linux operating system is in my control now, right? If I forget to secure it, then it's not a Linux problem. It's my problem. So that's what it is. All right, we'll stop here. We'll pick it up next week and try to finish the assignment, and I'll try to release the assignment to you this week. Okay. All right. If you have any
Zafar.
questions,
Thank you, Mr. Zafar.
yeah,
Thank you. Have a good one.
yeah. Everybody,
Mr. Zafar,
yeah. You got a
can you
question?
remote? Yeah, can you remote into my computer? I'm having trouble mounting the
Yeah.
some of my devices. Well, some of